All right, y'all. The debate continues among cisgender and transgender women. Comedian Flame Monroe shared his thoughts and threw some major shade towards Pose actress Angelica Ross after she got into a social media argument with Jess Hilarious. Take a look.
When Jess Hilarious addressed her, she was talking about periods and womanhood. She also said that women can never have periods, and Jess was not attacking the entire trans community. I didn't even take it like that. She was speaking to the person who publicly put out that statement. That's who she was talking to.
All right, what are your thoughts on Flame Monroe's response? Now, Jess had real quick previously expressed her thoughts on a trans woman's post that raised a question of who, owns womanhood, specifically the ability to have period, and Angelica Ross responded with insults in DM receipts. Q?
The clip that we saw, if it was taken singularly, Flame Monroe said absolutely nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of truth and a lot of the things that Flame Monroe had to say in her video. However, there was a tone in this video and a level of nastiness towards Angelica that I think was just unwarranted. And, there's something very peculiar, in my opinion, about Flame and Al Sharpton says it best: just because you're my color doesn't make you my kind. And I get that Flame is older than a lot of the LGBT community now, and he probably comes from a generation where assimilation was his best means of surviving. But Flames has a way of pandering, in my opinion, sometimes to the straights for straight acceptance, uses a lot of the bigoted, in my opinion, straight people talking points to be able to continue to sit at the straight table. And there were just, I don't know, I pick up on that theme from time to time with a lot of the interviews and videos that Flame does. But there were bits and pieces of what Flame said that were 100% true.
Okay. Al, what do you think?
I'm so glad you said that, Q, because in my opinion, Flame Monroe, it seems like in this situation, and I see we called her, isn't Flame Monroe a transgender female? So is she a she or a he? I'm
not sure.
It gets slightly confusing because Flame refers to other trans women as he, and you a nigga, and you a boy, and so on and so forth. So I don't know what.
Either one. Okay. So in this case, I feel like I usually rock with Flame Monroe because some of the things that Flame Monroe says, it's spot on to me sometimes. But in this case, I'm like, Q, this kind of felt like he or she was injecting himself into this conversation. It wasn't pointed towards Flame Monroe, but Flame Monroe kind of jumped into the conversation. That to me made it feel kind of a little weird in clout chasing. And it also felt like it created more of a division and instead of an inclusion. Now, I'm also glad that Q mentioned this because I wanted to know, where did this whole concept come? Because people say that Flame Monroe is to the trans community what Candace Owen is to the Black community. So was that kind of what you were saying, Q, earlier?
That's a perfect analogy.
Got it.
That's a perfect analogy. I think, yeah.
I just feel like this could have been an opportunity that we use as a bridge instead of a division. I feel like we could have used this conversation to kind of bring people together than to divide them. And I just feel like anybody that's throwing gasoline on a fire to divide people is never a good conversation.
If I remember correctly, and I have a headache from this, I swear, I cannot wait till we get to a point where we don't even have to cover this anymore. I hope we get to some peace soon. That there was a warning first between Flame and Angelica where she said, don't say anything else or I'm gonna spill your tea. And then Angelica said one more thing, and then Flame took to her live and went in. I think it became personal because Jess made her comments, then Angelica jumped in, then Flame jumped in, and everyone's just jumping in now. And now we're far away from the original transgender woman that did all this shit to me to be controversial and get the shit started, get us all arguing, and we don't even know the transgender girl's name that started this period shit, right? We talk about everybody but her, and she's the one I feel like came in there, threw some rocks, got everybody riled up, and then and it got divisive as hell all week. And now it's just like we have these secondary and extra arguments. I agree with some of the stuff that Flame said, and maybe I'm supposed to because, like y'all saying, she's pandering to the straight community. I do. One thing I will say that I did like was Flame seemed very respectful to women, and that's something that I feel like we've been missing in the last few months. You know, we talked on our DM about this, and you know what? Maybe we'll invite her on the show. I don't know how you guys.
No, we won't.
Well, sometimes we have to have conversations with people we don't agree with.
No, not with the way she's unsolicitedly gone after me. And said,
oh, has she?
She won't be on this one.
What do you mean she went after you?
Oh, there's videos of her going in and saying all types of stuff. I'm on meth and all type of stuff that was just unsolicited. She won't be on this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.